Hi everyone. Good afternoon. It is Sarah Shipton here from Scrapbooking with Sarah, and I'm coming live to you on Tuesday, August 6th with this week's scrapbooking challenge. And I am just loving these bright, vibrant blues and greens. What do you think, ladies? Super excited to share with you this week. I actually created this scrapbooking pattern a couple of weeks ago at my annual VIP scrapbooking retreat weekend that I host here in my hometown of Adelaide in South Australia. We had a lovely weekend scrapbooking, and I've been itching to share this layout with you all because I am just in love. And if you follow me on the social media platforms, you will know that I actually posted this layout yesterday, but it didn't have any photos on there, and I have decided to scrapbook some photos of a trip we took to Bali in 2022. This was actually in Seminyak in Bali, in the villas that we stayed in, and I chose these photos because I just thought the colours looked so perfect to match with my papers, with the blues and the green. It looks tropical and bright and fun, and every picture certainly does tell a story. So I have used the paper pack and sticker sheet called Soda Pop. So this particular collection is part of the last of the Close to My Heart product releases that were acquisitioned by Stamping Up as part of our transition. And these were released in the July-August digital catalogue. The Soda Pop paper pack and sticker sheet is still available on my website, and there was no workshop guide with it. There was no layout pattern or how-to guide at all. And so I decided to take pattern number 12 from the Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 book and create this layout. I just love this layout so much, with this beautiful bunting banner, which is what I'm actually going to share with you this afternoon. And I also want to share with you these gorgeous circle dies, which are part of the Spotlight on Nature circle dies. And if you can see close up here, I don't know if you can see that really nice soft blue hue there in the camera, in the video there. I have actually just very lightly with my blending brush, so using my blending brush there and my Glacier ink pad, which is a very, very light blue, I've actually just dabbed my blending brush into the ink pad, and I've very softly, in a circular motion, run that over my White Daisy cardstock, just as a little bit of a background effect there. So it just didn't look so stark with the White Daisy cardstock. So I've done that here under this circular embellishment cluster here. And I've also done this down the bottom here under the journal box. And on this side of my layout, my left-hand page, I've also done that down the bottom here. Another thing I like to do is actually cut out the back square of my cardstock. And if you haven't seen me do this before, you can jump on my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking with Sarah, and I actually demonstrate how to do this. So I've cut a 10 by 10 inch square, 10 by 10 inch square out of the back here. And then I've used that cardstock to be able to create my photo mats for my scrapbooking layout there. I quite often will do that if I'm matting 12 by 12 cardstock on top of, well, this wasn't 12 by 12, but it was 11 and a half by 11 and a half. So I quite often will cut out the square background of that just to help save paper. And this particular cardstock color is called Journey. This blue here is Lagoon. Again, they were close to my heart colors, so I have used those as part of the coordination with the Soda Pop paper pack and sticker sheet. Now, I know there are a couple of you that have come on live to watch the video today, so I just want to say hello to you. I can't see who is there, so if you aren't backwards and coming forwards, give me a little hello so I can give you a shout out, and I know who's watching today. So whoever's there, thanks so much for tuning in. So Bali photos, I love the greenery, the blue here. So this particular trip we took in 2022. I had actually earned an incentive trip with Close to My Heart to Fiji, which we were meant to take in 2020, and it never happened, obviously. In the end, the company very generously gave us the cash equivalent to redeem with the travel agency here in Australia, and we decided to take our kids to Bali, just make the dollar stretch a little bit further, and this was our celebration for their 21st and 18th birthdays, which were only 6 weeks away from each other. I know, right? How did I do that? And so we surprised them with a 3-bedroom villa in beautiful Seminyak in Bali, and this is the gorgeous Minnie. She's the host of the villas, and we had just the most amazing time. A home away from home. They went above and beyond for us. We had a very, very special time. It was the first time we'd taken our kids to Bali, so it was a very special family holiday. Emily is here. Hi, Emily. Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to see you today. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show you how to create this cute little bunting banner here. And I didn't say I was going to, but I also want to highlight these Spotlight on Nature dies, because let me tell you girls, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Straight up obsessed with these dies, and I can see me using them a lot in my scrapbooking layouts, and I want to share them with you. So what we've got here is we've got 5 little bits of bunting, and you can see here that these 2 pieces of paper match. So when you come to do this particular pattern, you're going to coordinate 2 of your bunting pieces with your paper, your pattern paper that goes through the middle of the scrapbook layout here. So you can see I've got this square green limeade is the colour, actually, sorry. This square limeade pattern paper. So I've actually used that to coordinate here. And then the spotty blue underneath here, I've cut 1 little rectangular piece out to coordinate there. And then the lagoon bit of cardstock is to coordinate with the lagoon that went through the backdrop here. And then this little piece of bunting paper here is going to coordinate with your other little piece of pattern paper that's going to tuck just slightly in underneath your limeade pattern piece, and we're going to dovetail that. So I'm actually going to demonstrate the dovetailing to you today. Quite often I get asked how to do the dovetailing, and it's so funny because, you know, there are things that you learn when you're scrapbooking and you just assume that everyone knows how to do certain things, and I love that because people are always like, how do you get that perfect little dovetail? So I'm going to give you a little tip for that today. And then of course I want to share these circles with you because I think that it's just been so easy to embellish my scrapbooking layout by using the little circle dies to create embellishment clusters. And I actually picked it up from the sticker sheet as well. So you have got some circular stickers on the Soda Pop sticker sheet, and you can see I've used a couple of little different ones throughout my layout as well with some love hearts. So I haven't scrapbooked any photos from this Bali trip in 2022. So you might be like, oh my gosh, yes, she's behind too, but I'm never behind. I'm always exactly where I'm meant to be. That's what I tell my girls, right? So I don't scrapbook physically in chronological order. I scrapbook with what I feel drawn to, or perhaps a particular paper suite will come out and I will instantly think of photos that I want to print to go with those photos. I don't print every single photo I take. I actually chose this one as my 5x7 inch photo because it was such a great photo of us here arriving at the villas, meeting our beautiful host, Minnie, who I had chatted online with many times prior to our arrival, and she just made us feel so welcome. So this will end up being sort of like the title page in my Bali scrapbook when I get around to doing that. So yes, don't ever worry about feeling like you are behind, girls, because you are exactly where you are meant to be. So I'm going to demonstrate the cutting first of all. And I had a Stampin' Up order arrive today, and I so desperately was hoping it was new blades for my trimmer, because let me tell you, this baby has had a workout since I have transitioned over to Stampin' Up. So I invested in a new trimmer. Let's say I've had this for 3 months and I am in need of new blades. So when you invest in your Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it is going to come with a cutting blade and also a scoring blade. And you can see that they're different colours here. The darker one is your cutting blade and then the lighter one is the scoring blade. And there's a little icon actually right on top. I'm not sure if you can see that there in the camera. You can see here this has got a triangle on it to make it look like a sharp blade. And this one's got just a raised circle on it to make it look like your scoring blade. Well, it's not a blade, your scoring, maybe it is your scoring tool. Let's call it a little scoring tool, right? So I have purchased some replacement blades for my new paper trimmer, and I'm desperately waiting for them to arrive because I know when I need new blades, because I've got some paper inside here. The blades start to fray the edges of your cardstock when you are cutting it. You can tell it straight away, especially with white daisy cardstock. It's very obvious. So we are just going to make do today. Miss Pauline has joined us from Canberra. Hi, Pauline. Thanks for coming on live today. I'm running a little bit late this afternoon. I actually won some movie tickets. So Kayla and I have been to the movies today. We went for brunch and to a movie. We had a little mummy-daughter day. So, and then I got to come home and now I get to speak to all of you. Alrighty, so let's cut our little pieces of cardstock here. So we've got some letters for the bunting, and the letters indicate the order that you actually stick your papers down in. So the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then the bunting pieces are G, H, I, J, and K. So you actually stick them down in the order of the alphabet. So always fun to put the little bunting pieces on there. And what I've got here with me is some scrap cardstock that I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I probably will actually put these on a card, but I've just got some scrap cardstock here because I'm in the middle. This is what's on my desk. I'm in the middle of making some thank you cards, and I'm using the Unbounded Beauty paper suite, and I'm a big fan of the monochromatic look at the moment. So I've used the glitter paper here. This is the colour Shy Shamrock. So the glitter paper, the coordinating cardstock, I've stamped the word thanks in Shy Shamrock ink, and I've got some little Shy Shamrock. These are the in colour gems, but they're like a matte, so they're not shiny. So I'm all about the monochromatic look at the moment. So you know what? You might see what I'm cutting here today end up on your card, and I'm going to create a little bunting on the card. How fun would that be? Alrighty, so I'm going to cut G and H, and G and H is in this section here, and I need to cut it at 1 by 1 1/4. So let's do the 1 inch first. So I'm just lining that up with my 1 inch line there, making sure my paper is flush against the top, holding down my ruler just to keep my paper in place, and then just running that trimmer along. You can see here, running the blade along, sorry. That wasn't too bad, but it is fraying pretty bad. And I need 2 pieces now at 1 1/4. So I'm just turning my 1 inch side, my 1 inch strip on the side, lining that up at 1 1/4. And then I need to cut that twice. So 1 1/4 again. So I'm ending up now with 2 pieces, which will be the same. We'll just pop this here and here. And now we're going to cut I. So I is going to be on its own, and I'm going to cut this just in my plain cardstock. So let's cut this at the 1 inch again. So lining that up at the 1 inch. So all your bunting pieces are going to be the same size, okay? They're all going to be cut at 1 by 1 1/4 inches. And the bunting pieces look quite effective if they're in a rectangular look as opposed to a square, because we're going to cut into them at the bottom as well. I've also got some cardstock here previously that I have run through a 3D embossing folder, and I run that through my die cutting and embossing machine. And the name of this embossing folder Oh my gosh, I'm still learning everything. Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh my gosh, it escapes me. But I will post a link to the comments. So how cool is this, right? This is the same color cardstock. So this is peach pie. So I can use the same color cardstock, but I could have the cardstock that's plain, plus I could have the cardstock with the embossed piece on it as well. So I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. That would also look cool on a card front. 1 by 1 1/4 inch. So the Stampin' Up! Trimmer has got metric and inches on there. Even though we work with metric in our market, from a scrapbooking perspective, I mean, we use metric measurements in our market is what I should say in the day-to-day world. But in the scrapbooking world, I've been scrapbooking for 22 years, teaching scrapbooking for 22 years, and I've only ever worked in inches. But I hear our friends in the UK, and I think maybe in Europe, use the metric as well. So you'll have inches here and then the metric system running across the top. Now I've got some of the glitter paper. This is also from the 2024 to 2026 colour in peach pie. So what I did was I bought the cardstock, the glitter paper, and I also bought the Unbounded Beauty paper collection as well, or the designer series paper, which is actually on sale starting today at 15% off, girls. So what I've done here, I'll give you a close-up. I've actually opened my packs and I've put all of my cardstock together. So I've got the plain colour cardstock, the 2024 to 2026 in colour cardstock. I've got the glitter paper, again in the in colours, and then I have got the Unbounded Beauty DSP, which stands for Designer Series Paper. And if you turn that over, I've got some of the different colours on the back there. So that's Petunia Pop and, oh my gosh, I'm really learning a lot with all these new colours, guys. So we've got Petunia Pop, and the blue is, oh my gosh, I've had a mental blank. If anyone knows, pop it below. Oh my god, oh, is it Summer Splash? It's Summer Splash. Oh, saved. So what I like to do, right, is I actually like to put all of my paper together so it coordinates. So if I'm wanting to make some artwork, whether that be some scrapbooking layout or cards, I've got it all together in the one pack, right? So that's just a little trick there for you. Now 1 by 1 1/4 inch. Why does that look fatter? 1, that's 1 1/4. Oh, by 1. Did I only cut that down? What did I do there? See, I was too busy talking. Whoops, the daisies. We'll just throw that little bit out. Okay, so now I've got all my little pieces of bunting here, okay? So when it comes to align that on my scrapbook layout, I'm going to have these two patterns either side. Let's put the glitter paper in the middle. I think that would look better because then I've got my cardstock, but I've got an embossed piece and then a normal piece, right? So what I'm going to do now is grab my scissors. Now, for those of you that have transitioned across from Close to My Heart, I'm using the micro tip scissors here. However, there is a fantastic pair of scissors with Stampin' Up! Called the Snips. So what I'm doing here is creating my little dovetail. So I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not measuring it, okay, because life is too short for that, girls. I'm just going to cut inside the middle here. I'm just eyeballing that into the middle of my paper. So the banner is going to be rectangular vertically, okay? And then I'm cutting from the sharp point on the outside into the middle point in the inside. I'm going to do that on both edges. And that's how you get that bunting. I haven't cut hard enough there. That's how you get that little bunting look there, okay? So super cute. And I'm going to do that with all 5 of my pieces here. I might try to cut a little bit harder into that. Might not have applied very much pressure. There we go, that's better. So I'm going to do that with all 5 of my pieces. The DSP, so that's the pattern paper. We're all learning the new names. We just used to call it background and texture paper or pattern paper when we were with Close to My Heart. And DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. Now, the reason it's a Designer Series paper is all of the pattern paper is actually designed by a concept artist team in-house that are employed by Stampin' Up. They create all of those designer series papers in-house, and then they are digitally altered to coordinate with Stampin' Up's colour palettes, all of the colours, and then it's converted into paper. Now, there is a YouTube video that you can actually watch on that. If you do not follow Stampin' Up on their YouTube channel, I would really encourage you to do so, because you are going to learn all of the things. So when it comes time to apply this on my scrapbook layout, what you're going to want to do is have a bit of a play with it in terms of measuring that out. So what I've done here is I've started with these two pieces on the outside here, and I will again eyeball it. It took me a little bit to line them up to make sure they were evenly spaced. I need my tweezers because my nails are too long. To make sure they were evenly spaced. And one of the other things that I like to do when I put my banners together is use the where is it? I like to use the Stampin' Dimensionals, which is a 3D tape. You can see here where my trimmer, I've pre-stamped these. You can see here where my trimmer blade's getting a little bit blunt. It's fraying the edges. So I have popped a little Stampin' Dimensional under each of those bunting pieces. And I've just popped that up. And that looks especially good if you're going to put pattern paper on top of pattern paper, because it just helps to lift that a little bit more and add a little bit of dimension to that. That makes the pattern here on top stand out a bit better. And then I've just popped a sticker over the top of that middle one there. If I was using the glitter paper in the middle, I might put a sticker, I might not put a sticker. You can see here where I've cut these, dovetailed these ones. I've actually cut quite higher. It's more of a sharper flag look if you want. So that's how I create my little bunting pieces, just by doing that dovetail technique. So I hope that was helpful. Let's look at these Spotlight on Nature dies now, because I am straight up obsessed with these. So fun. And I actually have the dies here. So I invested in these because I just thought that they would have so many uses for embellishing in my scrapbooking layouts. But I also made name tags at my recent retreat. I did post a photo of that on my social media. I made name tags out of the circle dies as well, and actually just stuck with some liquid glass. That's some really hardcore crafting glue on the back of them. So I just feel like these have so many different options with your crafting. I can use these on scrapbook layouts. They're big, right? So this is one of the things that the scrapbookers are really missing since we've transitioned over. The big stickers, the big die cuts, the big sentiments, because you need them to be bigger to fill up that space on your workable area, right? We're working with a 12 by 12 inch piece of cardstock here, so you want them to be bigger with your workable area. Now, I'm going to run a couple of these through my die cutting and embossing machine here, and I wanted to show you how fantastic they are. So I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here. I know you've heard me rave about this a million times over. I am going to just quickly cut down some cardstock at 6 inches because I need it to be at 6 inches to run through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I want to demonstrate a couple of the different circle patterns to you so you can see how fabulous they are. And the other tool that I want to demonstrate to you is this little baby here. This is the Take Your Pick tool with Stampin' Up. So when I bought the Take Your Pick tool, now I think off the top of my head, this was $21.75. This actually has got a putty end in one end here. Okay, so that's tacky. And then it comes with a second putty end, okay? Now, you can untwist this putty end, and I'm going to show you in a moment why I'm going to remove that and exchange it. So you get a second putty end. You can use your putty end to take sequins and other loose embellishments out of your little embellishment baggies. On the other end here, there's a little screw lock. You can actually unscrew this and you can remove your tool. So this one has got a spatula end, which is flexible. That could be for removing things off your scrapbooking layout. It's got a pokey end as well here. It also came with a scoring stylus. So you've got a 3mm ball on one end and a 1mm ball on the other end. So I can just pop that in here and then just screw that on, okay? I'm going to put that lid back on. Now, I'm going to unscrew my putty end. Now, I don't know if you saw me do that. I actually only screwed or loosened this middle section here, because if I wind that, it's going to wind putty up into it. So I've just held that lid tight, and I'm just twisting the middle section here to avoid me inadvertently rolling putty out of that. Now, there are other components of the tool that you can purchase separately to put into it. And this is one of them I want to introduce to you today, because you're going to need them with these dies. This is called the Take Your Pick die brush tip, all right? And you can see it's got a screw-on attachment. So I'm just screwing that in place of where my putty end was. And this has got some hard bristles in here that go around. When you get the brush, it also comes with 2 of these foam pads. And I'm going to show you how we are going to use this tool, because when I cut this down, I don't know if you can see here, but there's some really intricate pieces which are going to leave cardstock. You can see here that some of these haven't been punched out from previous use. When you cut them down, because it cuts so fine, you're going to leave little bits of cardstock in there. So that's what you're going to need that tool for, okay? And otherwise, you're going to end up with little bits of cardstock everywhere, or having to punch them out. This like changed my life. So we've had like really fine butterflies, intricate dies with lots of really little fiddly bits. And what I have done over time is used a pokey. We just call it a pokey tool. Do you love my technical terms, girls? We've just used this little pokey end to punch out all the little bits, right? Well, you don't have to do that anymore. So let's cut some of these dies first of all, and then I'm going to move my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of the way, and we are going to cut that down. Sorry, get those out, I should say. So I'm just popping my cardstock on the top here. So I'm going to do one of these large circle dies. Now I am going to use washi tape just to keep my die in place, because this, I'm actually waiting on new cutting mats. This got a really good workout at my workshop, at my retreat on the weekend. And over time, what will happen is the cutting plate will start to warp. And so I need to get replacement mat. And so because it's not lying flat, I don't want to risk running this through my machine and it not staying put. So I'm just putting some washi tape there to keep that in place. Like you can see, that's probably better light. And I'm just going to pop the top of my cutting mat over the top there. And then we are going to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, hang on a second. I haven't got this together properly. 1, 2, yeah, perfect. I'm not missing anything. No. Okay, so just move this a bit closer to me. All right, let's get this happening. Why is this not rolling through? Let's try it again. Let's try that. Ah, there we go. Okay, I just needed to move the length of the 2 cutting mats. That's because that bottom one is warping with the use. Oh my gosh. Okay, woo! Applying a bit of pressure. I'm getting a workout here, girls. See, crafting is not for the faint-hearted, right? Okay, so I'm going to take my top cutting mat off there, and then we are going to lift this off. Now, I do find the washi tape likes to stick to the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, so just be conscious of that. Oh my gosh, look, it's magic, 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 magic. And look at this one here. So because it cuts so well, you can see some of them are just starting to fall out. Oh, I have to cut this one here. I'm going to give you a tip for this. I'm going to tear this. And then I want to demonstrate this dye brush tip to you because I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Alrighty, so there's all my little bits and pieces that I've cut out. Now, in this instance here, it actually hasn't applied enough pressure on the outside there. So what I'm going to do here is just grab my micro tip scissors. Now, even though that's not cut perfectly on the edge and it's a little bit manky, you know what? I can still put that on my scrapbook layout, and I would just pop that in underneath another piece where it wasn't so noticeable, right? So don't throw those little pieces away. Even when I made the name tags for my girls, some of them didn't punch out properly. I actually had one die accidentally overlapping the other one when I ran it through my machine. And I still was able to use it. I just stuck some embellishments over the top of it. So you can see that. I'm just going to grab this. Oh, I didn't mean to take that out. I'm just going to grab this pokey end just to get this tiny little piece out. Okay, so there's those three here. What I wanted to show you was the foam mat, and I want to clean. You can see here I've got all the cardstock left over in my die. So rather than me sitting there and poking each one out individually, because who has got time for that, I can put my die face down on my foam square and just running the bristles of my die brush. And if you're doing this in good light, you will see all of the little bits of cardstock. I can see where the orange is underneath it. If you're doing this in good light, you will see all the little bits of orange cardstock come out. So look at that. It is magic. And then you just want to make sure you've got a little bin handy close by that you can throw all of those little bits and pieces into and get them off your craft bench. That one didn't have any holes and this one here did, so let's do that again. Alrighty, so I'm just going around with my brush. I probably could have done both at the same time on there, girls. But see how that's, I'm hoping you can see that in the camera there by running that brush through. Obviously this foam square is giving a nice soft space for my brush, because that brush is quite coarse, right? So you get two of these, and this got a little bit of a workout at my retreat, let me tell you. So the idea is that I will use one, and when then that's gone to town, I can use the other side, or that must have been the side we used at retreat, because you can see that's quite scratchy there. And then I can just move over, I can throw that out and move on to the next one. So how cool is that? I think that is such a great invention. So you will probably see me using these dies. These are really great value. As you can see here, I've got so many different size circles in here. And what I did on my scrapbook layout is I actually did a combination of some of the patterns. So they weren't all the same pattern. I wanted to mix it up a little bit here, as you can see. I'll bring this back into frame. I wanted to mix this up a little bit here. So I've used a combination of 3 different dies here. I've got a little circle one here, another one down the bottom here. And then I've used 2 different dies here to make my embellishment cluster. I just thought it went so well with the Soda Pop range. So I hope you have found those tips helpful for you today, ladies. I am going to pop some comments below with the goodies that I have shared with you today. I can't wait to see what you all come up with. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care now.